Hi everyone, I'm Kate Dunbar, the Campground Gourmet, and today I'm here at DFW Airstream in Dallas, Texas, picking up my brand new 2021 Flying Cloud 25-foot twin bed that I'm so excited with all of the new features that they have, from the tankless water heater to the beautiful new flooring and to just how streamlined and open air it is inside. But I've got something special for you today. You're gonna come inside and share my very first meal that I'm gonna cook inside my new coach. So why don't you join me and let's go see what I'm making. Hi everyone, welcome to the inside of my 2021 25-foot Flying Cloud. Look at all this space, and the best part about this is the kitchen. You have a really great galley kitchen with this. We have cutting boards that cover our sinks, so you've got even more prep area. So today, I just want to show you some of the features of this kitchen, give you a really easy recipe that you can make at the campground the next time that you take your Airstream out. So today we're doing a coconut milk rice and a delicious beef saute with vegetables and Asian spices and flavors, something that you can create in a bowl and reheat in your convection microwave, or you can make it straight on your propane stove and serve your family. This is a simple meal, start to finish, less than 30 minutes if you do the prep first. So let's get to the rice. In my pot, I'm gonna turn on the burner here. So we turn on the gas first and then we turn the pilot, and check that out. We've got a great flame. I wanna bring this down to, say like medium low. I don't really want to get this pot too hot because I've got to add some oil, about 2 tablespoons to that. Because we're gonna bloom some spices, and I have red chili flake, a star anise, and some clove. If you have dried herbs and spices, you wanna bloom them in oil. If you have fresh herbs, you bloom those in water. That's how you get all the flavors. So this is the first way to get that chili spice, that sweet, almost licorice flavor of star anise, and then that warm clove. We're gonna be adding in some more aromatics. I have some fresh ginger, I have some lemongrass, and I have the ends of the green onions. We're gonna save the top for the garnish. And then I've got some garlic cloves. So easily, this lasts, it's about 1.5 inches, 2 inches. Just put these straight in the pot. We're gonna be straining a lot of things out, so don't worry, we're just trying to maximize flavor here. Now lemongrass is really woodsy. It's really hard. You can't break it, but the trick to opening up the flavor is you put it on a cutting board and you take the back of your knife and you hit it, and that breaks it open, where when you cut it open, it just blooms and you can start peeling off all of these little feathers of it. You don't have to do too much, just leave it like this, drop it in the pot too. The ginger, we're just gonna cut these into big chunks. We're just trying to extract the flavor with the ginger. And everything's already starting to saute. You have a great heating element here that's gonna cook your food quickly. And that's what's fantastic about these Airstream trailers. They have some of the best appliances so you can get the job done quickly and efficiently. Next, we're gonna take the garlic, just split it in half, or if you want, you can just take it and smash it. Whatever works for you. And I like to save my cutting board because I keep it out and covered with my sink. So I'm just using a disposable cutting board over it. Great trick. Put a wet paper towel underneath it, then it doesn't slide, so you won't be cutting and throwing food all over the place. It'll stay in one place for you. And this just takes about 2 to 3 minutes. You just want to get all the flavor in the oil. I'm going to turn it down just a little bit. This is a really great high output burner, so watch that there. You don't want to burn the garlic, because once that you burn garlic, you can't save it. So watch that. That's going to be your indicator. If you see the garlic getting a little toasty and golden, turn down your heat a little bit, or just what I'm doing by kind of raising the pot just a little bit to work on the temperature. So let's get the rest of the ingredients together. I have 2 cups of rice. You can use long grain, you can use basmati, whatever you want. If you're gonna use brown rice, you're gonna need to increase the water at least by another cup. And the recipe you'll find over on my website, The Campground Gourmet. this is almost done here for this, and you can just, the perfume inside the trailer, you've got ginger and garlic and that lemongrass. It's sweet, and then the green onions, and I can smell that red chili flake, so I know that I'm going to have some great warmth in that rice. And I'm going to take one of these bowls and my spoon, because that's just about it. That's all you need to do. You want to be really careful, because remember, this is hot oil, and you're just going to scoop out those aromatics that we put in it. Can you use these again? Absolutely. Cool them down, and the next night, if you wanted to make this again, you can do these same aromatics in it, and it's fine. You can use them at least once or twice. Now, there's a bunch of red chili flake down in the bottom of this pan. Leave it in there, because you're going to want that for the rice. And just set this aside. Put this back on the heat. And now add in your rice, because you want to toast this just a little bit. You want that oil to get absorbed into the rice first, where all that flavor is. About a minute or two, not much longer than that. So we're going to let that sit for a minute. Okay, well, we are ready. Here, that's nice and toasty. The oil has absorbed into the rice. So now I'm going to add the water. And be careful, this might splatter a little bit. So pour it really slowly. There we go. So that's 2 cups of water. And next, coconut milk. This is the secret to this recipe. Not only is it flavorful, but it's going to make the rice nice and creamy. It's not going to have a sweet coconut flavor like when you think of desserts or things like that. It's almost that rich Thai cuisine where it's silky and it's just full of flavor. But this is what makes the rice absolutely just plump up perfectly. There's always a fat cap when you're using coconut milk. That's the fat of it, and you just want to scoop it out. If you're traveling during the summer, chances are it won't be solid like this. It'll be liquid, so don't worry. It's totally normal. And when the heat of the pan and everything starts melting the coconut milk, it all just blends right in together. It's kind of a cold day here, and so everything's solid in the can, and that's fine. I'm going to give this a little bit of a stir. I'm going to definitely turn the heat down to low, because I want this to cook slowly. I want the rice to absorb everything from the oils to the spices to all the flavors that were there and the coconut milk. So I'm going to leave the lid off. We're going to let this go for about 5 or 10 minutes. And when there's a soft boil across the entire top of it, that's when I'm going to put the lid on, and we're going to steam it for about 15 minutes. So we'll be right back when this rice is finished. Hi everyone, so I've moved the rice back to the back burner and it's going along. It's slowly boiling away. I've got a deep wok that's starting to heat because we're getting ready to make our beef and vegetable sauté. So we're going to add about a cup of soy sauce to a bowl, and this marinade, you can marinate the beef in this for an hour or up to 3 hours. Beyond that, it's going to get way too salty. So there we go. It's about a cup. We're going to add in some rice wine vinegar. Now, if you're someone who likes Asian marinades to be a little on the sweet side, that was about 3 tablespoons. You can easily add honey to this or brown sugar. My family's not too big on the sweeter Asian sauces, so we don't do it. They like the spicier ones, so I'm adding in some dried red chili flake with that. This is a microplane. This is one of the most amazing tools. If you don't want to have a garlic press and everything else, grab a microplane, because all you have to do is take your garlic clove and just run it over it, and it's perfectly minced. And since this is the marinade, the last little bit at the end, don't worry about it, put it right on in there with it. This is ginger, doing the exact same thing, and I've prepped it before I've headed off to the campground. I'm really big about food prep. I take usually the day before we head out on the road and get all the vegetables out, chop them up, put them in bags, get them into the containers. So whenever I am with my family camping, it's just grab and go. They store perfectly in the refrigerators or in ice chests. So spend the time doing all your food prep, and you won't have to be spending all that time away from your family and your friends and just having fun, because dinner is completely done. So that's enough of the ginger. That was about an inch that I did, and now I'm just going to finish up these garlic cloves. Super fast, really easy. You can do as much as you want. I've gone up to sometimes 6 cloves of garlic if I really want that pungent flavor throughout the meal, or you can do as little as 3 that I've done right now. Now, because I forgot something, water. It's always a good idea to dilute down any sauce that has soy sauce in it with a little bit of water. It's great for cutting that salt because we're not going to be adding any more salt to it. We're going to add a little bit of a neutral oil. This is grapeseed oil. It doesn't have any flavor, so it's perfect. This is done. We're going to set it aside, and now I'm going to show you our flank steak and how you're going to cut it. So like I said, prep is important. I have all of my proteins in containers like this, or Ziploc bags, or if I have the time, I'll actually use a food saver, and I can even freeze them and just start stacking as I go into the refrigerator, into the freezer, or into ice chests. Flank steak has got to be one of my favorite foods. It is really lean. It cooks quickly. You can grill it, you can cut it, you can do sauté with it, you can do kebabs with it, but there's a trick. This is a piece of beef that has a very long structure to it, and this is the grain of the meat. It's going across. With this, you never want to cut with the grain. You want to cut against it. That's where it's its most tender. So I'm going to take a knife, and we're just going to cut this into strips, about the size, the width of a pencil. Super easy, just 1/4 of an inch. Just go right on through. Super easy. You're not looking for perfection on this one. We're going to be doing a stir fry on this. So the thinner, leaner flank steak that you can find, that's great. And if you can't find flank steak, you can use skirt steak. If you're not someone who likes steak, you can do this with chicken. Do it with chicken thighs though, versus anything else. I'm going to turn the heat down on this back burner. Check the rice really quick. Oh, the smell. So I worked in Sri Lanka for a little while, and this dish always brings me back to that, just the coconut, the spices, the ginger, everything. It's fantastic. You're gonna love it. It's perfect for a cool day. It's amazing. So like I was saying, you can use skirt steak, flank steak, you can use chicken thighs with that. You can do this with shrimp. It would be fantastic. You can get it where it's already cleaned and just ready to go. And we're almost done. And like I said, you can prep this out beforehand. You can make the marinade, put it into a container, and say that you're going to go explore the town maybe for, like 3 hours or so. You can marinate the meat that way. But if you're going to be gone longer than that, don't do it. It's just, it will get a little too strong in the flavor with the salt. So just take your meat, put it right into the bowl here. Where's my spoon? I had a spoon. Oh, I can do this. This is, you're camping, so sometimes you don't have things, so just be really careful. Just mix this around, put some saran wrap around this, stick it in the fridge, and let it sit. Next, we're gonna start prepping some vegetables. Okay, so here I am. The beef has been marinating for about 3 hours right now. I'm getting my wok nice and toasty warm because I want everything to come together quickly. The rice is almost done. Let's talk vegetables. And this is where these big storage containers and taking a few extra minutes when you're at home before you hit the road completely helps. This is everything that I need for this meal, all right here in this pack. So I have green onions. I have some cilantro because it's the perfect topping for this. If you like Thai basil, you could swap that out with it. It's perfect. I have my garlic already in a Ziploc bag. I've got my onion. I have some more ginger if I want to add that. I have mushrooms that are already sliced up, and I've got some carrots and some broccolini. Right here, this could be 20 minutes of prep If you do it at home, you're saving yourself time while you're camping and while you're enjoying. So try it the next couple times you go camping. I promise it's going to be flawless whenever you're in your kitchen making your family a meal. So let's get right into the heart of it. We want to cook this onion first. I want to get it nice and caramelized and softened and all that. And if you just take it and wrap it up with a really good length of plastic wrap, you won't have that strong onion smell. So it's just half an onion, and I'm just going to slice into it. Nothing perfect here. We're not looking for everything to be all uniform. You want it to be similar in size, but you don't need to worry about that. So I've got onions there. Garlic is going to be simple. We're just going to smash it. You don't need to do anything to it, but if you don't like big pieces of garlic, remember, use the micro plane. You can get it super fine and it's just perfect. Just have to smack and send it across the trailer. Because that's the joy of cooking. All right, so we have onions, garlic, and for the ginger, I'm just gonna slice on the outside of it. Just want to get like a couple little stems. Let's see, what are we gonna do? Right there. And just kind of take off the woodsy part. It's really thin. You can use a spoon if you want, or you can use a knife. It scrapes right off, and there we go. Just a little bit, just a couple little pieces. So cut it in half, make a couple little planks. Watch your fingers while you're chopping because you don't want to cut those. Just some little micro pieces of ginger. That's it. That should be enough. All right. Let's get to this hot pan. I'm going to put in some grapeseed oil because it doesn't have a flavor, but it has a really high temperature point. This is about a tablespoon or two. Swirl it around the pan. I've got this on medium low right now. Yeah, about medium low heat. Let's add in the onion. That's the sound that you want to hear. That's saute. You want your pan warm. Get that going. Stir it around just a little bit. And as the oil's coating it, remember to grab your salt and pepper. This is when you want to season. You want to keep layering flavors all the way through, but watch the salt because remember we have all that soy sauce in that marinade, and that's going to go into this pan too. So just a little pinch. It's going to help the water pull out of the onions and start to brown and caramelize. Now as this is going, I want to start adding in some of my vegetables, the heartier ones. So the mushrooms, I want to get those in. Get them to start cooking, sweating down, taking out all that liquid out of it. And I also want to start adding in my carrots. So I'm going to pull out the broccolini. And broccolini is just broccoli and kale. It's a grafted vegetable. It's fantastic for stir fry because it stays nice and crunchy and you don't have to cook it all the way through. Let's do a little cleanup here. So we've got that. We're going to save the garlic for almost last because we don't want to burn that. Cilantro we're going to put off to the side. Our ginger, we can put that in now because that can handle the heat. And we're going to let this go for about 5 minutes. Alright, so it's been a few minutes here. After the first 5 minutes saute with the mushrooms and the onions and the ginger, I added in the broccolini and the carrots and the green onions and the garlic. This has gone about another 7 minutes and it's done. But what I'm going to do to guarantee that the beef is going to get nice and caramelized and that that marinade is going to get nice and thick, I'm going to pull the vegetables off and just let them sit and steam. Now, do you see all of that that's at the bottom of the pan? That's flavor, that's caramelization, and you really want that. Don't wipe that out, it's perfect. So got that there. I've already turned off the rice. It's done, it's steaming now. I'm gonna add in a little bit more oil, about another teaspoon or two maybe. Swirl that around the pan. Bring the heat down just a little bit. because this pan is good and hot. And now, take the beef and carefully pour it into the pan and make sure that you're pouring it away from you, because if it's going to splatter, it's going to go that way, and it's super easy to clean and you don't have to worry about it. Hot splattered marinade on you, that's not fun to clean. Alright, so that flank steak is starting to cook. On flank steak, you don't want to take above medium. You really don't. It just is perfectly tender and juicy. Medium rare, that's fine. This is going to cook for about 7 to 10 minutes. The sauce is going to thicken, and then just at that point when it's almost done, I'm going to add the vegetables back in, fold it all up, and then we're going to plate and put this together for you. All right, so our beef is done. It's time to add back in the vegetables, and then we're gonna get to plating this meal. It's all come together in under 30 minutes because I did all of that prep, which is exactly what you're going to be doing now, because you saw how simple this meal came together. It was easy. You didn't have to have a lot of things flying across your trailer, unlike that piece of garlic that flew while I was trying to get it all smashed. So just add your vegetables in and just fold them in, let them sit in the sauce. You can turn the heat off now because the pan is nice and warm. You don't want to overcook the vegetables, and you especially don't want to overcook the beef, but you want all the flavors to develop here. So we're going to let this sit just for a minute, and I'm going to plate up that rice. I have the garnish all ready. I have the cilantro and I have the green onions. So let's move these. If you could be in this coach right now, you should be here at DFW Airstream. The entire showroom out there smells so good. Everybody keeps popping their head around trying to see what's going on. So here we go. Our coconut milk rice is perfectly seasoned. It's nice and creamy. Just take a portion of that, put it right in the side of your bowl, just like that, leaving room for the beef and the vegetables. Take a little bit of green onion and already put that over the top there. And then maybe a couple pieces of cilantro. And then now, let's add in our vegetables and beef. I've got a couple pieces here. I can just put that right on the side. Let's grab some carrots, the broccolini, the onions, the mushrooms, everything, bright and vibrant colors. If you wanted to add bok choy, you could add bok choy to this. You could, shred up some Napa cabbage. You could do any vegetable that you wanted. It would be beautiful and perfect for that. If you want to add in extra sauce over the top, you can do that instead of a garnish. I love green onions, so I'm going to throw a few more on there. And dinner's served.
Thanks for watching our video. If you have any questions or have any recommendations on content you'd like to see, make sure to drop a comment in the comment section below. If you enjoy our content, give us a like and be sure to subscribe to our channel. Thanks again from Airstream DFW.